So there's this weird opinion going around that Randy Orton never had a good WrestleMania match. I mean, I disagree. I think he had plenty of them. Obviously, he didn't have a Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels type of match, but I believe most of his matches actually delivered. And you guys know that I'm a big Randy Orton fan. Randy Orton is the first WWE superstar I saw on TV, and if I had to pick my favorite WWE wrestler of all time, I would probably have to go with Randy Orton. So this video is going to be about Randy Orton and WrestleMania. We're gonna rank every single Randy Orton WrestleMania match since WWE WrestleMania 20 to WrestleMania 36. The next video is going to be a 10-second video on Nia Jax's greatest wrestling matches. Might do a 24-hour live stream on Primo's best matches. We'll see. Okay, people, so the first match is WrestleMania 20 Evolution versus Rock and Sock Connection. First of all, a great match, great build. The Rock returned because Randy Orton kept bullying Mick Foley, and one of my favorite actually promo segments of this is when The Rock interrupted Randy Orton and he made fun of him for having a toy, and Randy Orton said, "I never had this toy," and then he admitted it was his sister's. Basically, you can find it on YouTube. It's very good. So the build was great, the match was great, the finish was right. Randy Orton actually pinned Mick Foley, so I'm gonna give it an S. I think it was absolutely great. The second match is WrestleMania 21, The Undertaker versus Randy Orton. The match was alright. If The Undertaker's streak was already like 25-0, I think it should have been Randy Orton who defeated the streak because he was a legend killer, so, you know, it is what it is. I love this rivalry. A few years ago, I actually watched the whole rivalry on the WWE Network. So good. So good. So even though Randy Orton lost this match, he won at SummerSlam. The build was amazing. Just awesome, man. Randy Orton burning the casket and stuff. Awesome. I'm gonna give it an A. Randy Orton versus Rey Mysterio versus Kurt Angle. So Rey Mysterio won the Royal Rumble match, but he lost a match in which Randy Orton actually took that spot. So I don't necessarily know how Rey Mysterio got back into this match. The champion was Kurt Angle. So this is when, sadly, Eddie Guerrero passed away. WWE decided to do something to basically honor the man, and they decided to put the championship on Rey Mysterio. The match was actually very short, especially for a triple threat match, and Rey Mysterio took the W. He actually pretty much squashed Randy Orton and Kurt Angle. It wasn't bad. It was a great moment. The build was alright. I'm gonna give it a... You know what? Man, I don't know. I guess I'm gonna give it a B. It was still pretty good. I just feel like the match was a bit short. WrestleMania 23, Randy Orton in a Money in the Bank ladder match. This is actually one of the most memorable Money in the Bank ladder matches because I remember the spot where basically Randy Orton gave every single superstar an RKO. That was actually a great spot. And this spot right here that you can see Randy Orton giving RKO to CM Punk, which actually happened twice, right here and right here. My man loves the RKO. Maybe that's why he left. I don't know. He was just tired of selling the RKO. So, I don't know. I'm gonna put it at B. It was pretty good. WrestleMania 24. Randy Orton versus Triple H versus John Cena. Randy Orton was the champion. The build was alright. I don't know how Triple H got into this match, but John Cena won the Royal Rumble match. So, I don't know. Maybe Triple H just asked for a rematch. I don't remember. The thing is, I always thought that this was a WrestleMania main event, and that's not the case. WrestleMania 24 main event is Edge versus The Undertaker, but I always forget that, and I don't know why. I only found out that it was not the main event like, I don't know, 3 years ago, but the match was okay. Obviously, the most memorable spot is Randy Orton doing a double DDT and the punt kick. So basically, I don't know who Randy Orton pinned, but I believe we got a pedigree Randy Orton punt kick Triple H and pinned either Triple H or John Cena. I don't remember, but Randy Orton retained the championship, which was pretty awesome. B. It was pretty okay. Randy Orton versus Triple H. Look, the build was amazing. One of the best Randy Orton rivalries. The problem is, whenever I look at this match, I just remember, okay, that is living in the Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker shadow. This was not supposed to be the main event. It's such a shame that this went after Shawn Michaels' match. So, that's a bit of an issue. I would give it a B, So basically, you guys know that C is just perfect, A is very good, B is good, C is okay, and D is bad, So I don't think it was bad, I think it was pretty okay. So Randy Orton versus Ted DiBiase and Cody. I don't know if it was a handicap match or a triple threat match, but they didn't do anything to each other. I'm pretty sure it was a handicap match, right? It's basically SmackDown versus Raw 2010. It's so weird that Randy Orton was actually a babyface in this because, he was kind of using these guys. But I remember Randy Orton hitting an RKO to Ted DiBiase on Raw, and that's when I think he turned heel. Face. I don't know, man. The result wasn't right. Randy Orton won, which was kind of a shame because after that, Ted DiBiase was just lost, and Cody found some success, especially right now. I'm talking about 2010. Yeah, I'm gonna give it AC. It was okay, but pretty. I don't think it was memorable. Randy Orton versus CM Punk at WrestleMania 27 was pretty good. It had a memorable spot, that RKO, catching RKO, which happened rarely during that time. So that's pretty awesome. WrestleMania 28, Kane versus Randy Orton. I don't remember much of this storyline, to be quite honest with you. I think it happened on SmackDown. I do remember the match. I think it was the first match of WrestleMania, or the second match actually. The first match I think was Sheamus versus Daniel Bryan. And I was shocked when Kane actually won. That was crazy. Kane won the match with a chokeslam off the top rope. By the way, in this match, Randy Orton won. And I was shocked. The match was just alright, I'm gonna give it AC. Just, The Shield versus Randy Orton, Sheamus, and The Big Show. So, yeah, that was a very weird spot for Randy Orton to be in. I've always looked at Randy Orton as one of the top stars. And it was just kind of a shame that he was put in this position. The Shield, that was great for The Shield, wrestling against Sheamus, Orton, and The Big Show. I remember they lost the match, and Big Show turned on Randy and Sheamus, just because they lost. So, angry giant. Anyway, so, yeah, it was alright. Yeah, I don't know. Randy Orton versus Daniel Bryan versus Batista, WWE World Heavyweight Championship match. The story was perfect, the match was perfect, the storytelling in the match was perfect, and the ending was perfect. Just as Daniel Bryan winning both championships as perfect match. Randy Orton versus Seth Rollins. I'm gonna give it an A, man. Maybe the story was not that great, but that finish. I've never seen anything like this in wrestling. Curb stomp into an RKO. That is one of the craziest spots I've ever seen. Another crazy spot is probably spear into a pedigree. That was wild. So the next match is by the way, Randy Orton won in this one. Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania 33. He missed WrestleMania 32 because of his surgery. So the story was great. We all love the story. Bray Wyatt was a champion at the time. He won that in Elimination Chamber. Randy Orton burned the house. He was a part of a Wyatt family at first. He won the Royal Rumble, but he decided not to challenge him for the championship until he changed his mind. The story was great. The match itself was just bugs. We got bugs and worms, and it was so disappointing, especially because the crowd didn't give a crap. If we got a great crowd, maybe it would be different, but the whole match you were just nervous, thinking, okay, people just cheer a bit, can you pop for something? Because it's kind of sad to watch these two people wrestling for the championship and no one gives a crap. That's how I felt during this match. I'm gonna give it a D, and that is probably the worst Randy Orton WrestleMania match. The Fatal 4-Way for the United States Championship. So this happened at WrestleMania. By the way, Randy Orton won the championship in the previous one. I always forget to mention that. Fatal 4-Way for the United States Championship. Rusev, Orton, and Jinder Mahal. Orton was United States Champion. It's kind of a shame that, again, that's what they got for Randy Orton, this mid-card match. Seriously. So much more potential with Orton back then. I don't know. I don't remember anything about this match other than Jinder Mahal winning the championship, which led to nothing because he lost the championship to Jeff Hardy. I don't know. I'm gonna put it at D, even though I'm not saying it was horrible, but just very unmemorable. WrestleMania 35 against AJ Styles. It was an okay wrestling match. I'm gonna give it a B. I like this one. I remember there was a problem with the lighting. Some people couldn't see the match because the lighting was so bright, and Randy Orton actually made fun of it on Instagram. It was an okay match in which Randy Orton lost, which maybe wasn't the best decision. I don't know. Was it a good decision? I mean, maybe it was okay. And the last one, WrestleMania 36, Randy Orton versus Edge. Very controversial match, very different match. No crowd, last man standing backstage. I don't know. Very controversial match because it was, in many people's eyes, a bit too long. And maybe it was, but I mean, I don't think it took away from the match. And I gotta be honest, yes, we didn't get anything crazy during this match. It was mostly just storytelling. And when it comes to storytelling, the ending was great. We got Edge crying and hitting him with the chair and winning the match. And it was actually pretty great. So in terms of story, moments, it was great. In terms of the match, yeah, it was a bit crappy, you know. I don't know. I'm gonna put it at... I think it was a C, right? I mean, not having a crowd really took away from this match. So this is Randy Orton's WrestleMania tier list. So I believe the best matches were the Evolution match and the Triple Threat match. Also these two and these. These are just, like I've said, these are perfect matches in my opinion. These are great matches. These are good matches. These are okay matches. And these are just pretty bad matches. So these are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments below. The Great One. Peace, love, and hugs. It's been a pleasure.